Is it expensive to travel to Japan? Well, yes and no, depending on how you go about it. See, when I went back in September, I spent around $7,000, but I guarantee you that you can get away with a lot less. Now, first off, I am coming at this from an Australian perspective, so if your currency rate's a little bit different to our, say if you're in the UK or if you're in America, then maybe all this information won't be applicable to you, but I think from the broader perspective, it will be applicable to most people from most nations. So your general expenses are going to be broken down into 4 different segments, and that is going to be traveling to and around Japan, your accommodation while staying in Japan, your food, and then your general expenses, which will include things like getting into attractions and buying something you like, souvenirs and the likes of that. Now, 2 of your biggest expenses going to Japan is going to be your airfares and your JR Rail Pass. Now, the JR Rail Pass isn't 100% required, but if you want to travel between places like Tokyo and Kyoto and Hiroshima, you are going to want to buy one. They're going to set you back between $300 and $700 depending on how many days you need to use it for. I think they come in increments of 7, 21 and 28. I'm not 100% sure, but they are very, very handy if you need to travel around Japan and not just stay in one location, say if you want to stay in Tokyo. And flights can be either really expensive or really cheap depending on who you decide to fly with. Last year when I went, I flew with Singapore Airlines and it was a really comfortable flight. There was in-flight entertainment, there was lots of free food, free drinks, and the customer service was really, really good. But it did set me back $1,700, which to a lot of people will be a lot of money. You can find cheaper airfares. I recommend liking places like Jetstar, AirAsia on Facebook, and they'll constantly update the status with new deals and packages to go to different countries, and there you will find the best flights. You can also find places like Expedia, Webjet, Last Minute, and you will find a lot of cheap airfares. For example, I've seen $800 to $600 return airfares on Jetstar and AirAsia, and that is obviously over $1,000 difference to what I paid. The flights will probably not be as accommodating, but as long as you get there and back, who really cares? Because the experience is going to Japan itself, not getting there and back. So to surmise travel expenses, you're going to want to budget around $1,500 all up. That will include about $1,000 return airfare, which is obviously $700 cheaper than what I spent, but it is easily doable if you go to places like Jetstar, Air Japan, AirAsia, and look for the good deals that are coming out. And then $500 for your Japan Rail Pass, and that will get you the ordinary pass for 14 days, which allows you to ride the Shinkansen around Japan and travel around Japan instead of being stuck in the same location or spending the really high prices for the one trip. And if you want any extra information on any of this, I have provided links to all the websites that I mentioned below in the drop down box, and the next video will be about accommodation, just to break it up so the videos aren't too long. Each one will get their own video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you subscribe, like the video, do whatever you want, and until next time, happy planning, guys. 'Cause everybody pays.